Hello friends. Today you'll see how a sculpture of the legendary footballer Cristiano Ronaldo is created from ordinary modeling clay. A man begins sculpting Ronaldo out of modeling clay. He picks up a piece of skin-tone clay and starts shaping the face. First, he forms the basic structure of the head, carefully smoothing it out. Then, he focuses on the finer details: the forehead, cheekbones, and nose. Each small adjustment adds more likeness to the legendary footballer. The process is slow and demands incredible patience and precision. Bit by bit, Cristiano Ronaldo begins to take shape from the clay, as if coming to life in the artist's hands. Then he starts by sculpting the teeth, shaping each one with precision to ensure they are even and realistic. This part requires great attention to detail, as the teeth play a key role in capturing the likeness of Ronaldo. Once the teeth are in place, he moves on to the lips, carefully molding their curves and thickness to match the real expression. After that, he begins to define the facial features, outlining the cheekbones, chin, and subtle lines around the mouth and eyes. He starts by carefully hollowing out the eye sockets, ensuring their shape aligns perfectly with the proportions of the face. Once the sockets are defined, he delicately sculpts the upper and lower eyelids, adding subtle curves to bring natural depth. He then places tiny white clay spheres into the sockets to form the eyeballs, immediately giving the sculpture a lifelike gaze. After positioning the eyes, he moves on to crafting the eyebrows using thin, curved strips of clay, adding expression and emotion. Finally, he shapes the ears with close attention to detail, positioning them symmetrically on both sides of the head. These steps collectively bring the face to life and mark a major milestone in the sculpture's progress. To make the sculpture even more realistic, he carefully applies subtle paint to the face, enhancing the shadows around the eyes, nose, and lips, bringing the expression to life. This delicate touch adds depth and realism. Then, he begins working on the hair. Using precise sculpting techniques, he shapes the hairstyle strand by strand. To create the fine hair texture, he uses a thin thread to carve lines into the clay. Each tiny detail helps the hair look more natural, giving the figure a truly lifelike appearance. Using a fine thread or sharp tool to create realistic texture, each stroke adds depth and detail, making the hair look more natural. With patience, the sculpture becomes more lifelike. He firmly attaches the torso to a sturdy aluminum or wire armature to ensure the sculpture stays balanced. After that, he starts shaping the legs, beginning with the right one. Each leg is carefully molded, with special attention to the muscle structure. He smooths out the surface and adds realistic definition, making the legs look strong and athletic, just like the real Ronaldo. He shapes the leg muscles to look strong and athletic, adding detail to make them realistic. Then he begins shaping the neck, attaching it securely to an internal aluminum wire for stability. After that, he adds football socks, paying close attention to the small folds and textures to enhance realism. Once the socks are done, he begins crafting the sneakers with precision. He builds the base structure, shapes the soles, and adds small details like stitching and texture. Finally, he carefully sculpts the laces, making the shoes look impressively realistic and full of character. To enhance realism, he even adds subtle creases and wear marks. Every detail helps bring the clay sculpture closer to a lifelike version of football boots. Now he begins creating the Portugal football kit, a true classic. First, the artist carefully sculpts the shorts, shaping every fold to capture the natural flow of the fabric. Notice how he adds the waistband, making the shorts even more realistic and detailed. Next comes the jersey. The red and green colors symbolizing national pride start to come alive in his hands. He carefully shapes the sleeves, collar, and even the team logo, all with exceptional precision. Every stroke brings the uniform to life, adding depth and texture. And now, the final touch, the medal. The artist sculpts a small golden circle and delicately adds the ribbon. Then, he gently places the medal around the figure's neck, giving the work a special finishing touch. Now this figure is no longer just made of clay, it looks like a real work of art, full of life and incredible details. Every small part shows amazing craftsmanship, bringing the dot hole sculpture to life and making it truly impressive. Now he begins sculpting the arms and fingers with precision. Each part is shaped carefully to match the proportions of the body. Then he attaches the clay seamlessly, blending it with the football shirt to create a smooth, realistic transition. He sticks the trophy to the body, placing it the same way as in the photo. Now it's time to connect the head to the body. He begins by carefully making a small hole at the bottom of the head. Then, he places a spring inside this hole to provide both support and flexibility. Once the spring is securely positioned, he carefully aligns the head with the body and gently presses them together, ensuring a perfect fit. This final step completes the assembly of the figure, allowing for some natural movement.